everybody, whether you're on the East Coast, West Coast, or around the world. This is Coast to Coast, and we have a surprising win last night. Pacers trailing multiple times in crunch time, but come back with a huge win. Knicks are going to nick it up, and you knew it was coming. Pretty wild number that the Pacers hit last night, though. Teams trailing 7 points in the last 50 seconds in fourth quarter overtime are 4-17-02, and 3 of those are by the Pacers, all in this postseason.
Yep.
Wild.
That is nuts. That is nuts. You know, I tell you, the one things, though, that really stuck out at me about the New York Knicks versus that Pacers, I felt like, number one, Pacers obviously committed a lot of turnovers, which I think got them in early holes. Number two, there was at one point where I saw the Knicks do back-to-back steals. And in all honesty, they could not convert either one of the 2 steals that they got. I think they would have converted those 2 steals, which one of them was put up by Anaboy. And I don't know if he just ran out of gas when he got to the rim. He just couldn't quite get the damn ball up high enough to clear. So it bounced off. But there was 4 points right there that they really should have had, honestly. And then another thing that stuck out at me was I forget which Pacers it was. And that's that guy I know you'll play, but when he went up for the dunk, that ball must have came off that rim about 10 foot. Like he thought he had that thing fully for sure, but that thing came off there pretty hard. But one of the things I noticed, though, was I felt like the Knicks came out ready for this game. It's just it's almost like the Denver Nuggets with OKC. You know, they just couldn't close out that fourth quarter.
You know what, Rob? We're an older group on this show, so.
Oh wow! Wow!
But which Hims commercial was it? Was it the hair loss or was it the ED? Because it could have went either way, right?
Well, I'm gonna say if it was hair loss, I think me and you could take that one. If it's ED, I'm not saying anything. But if it's ED related, I don't know. I'm just saying if we're gonna go that route, let's just keep it for real.
I mean, you can go hair loss with me too. I got the receding hairline right now.
Yeah, I think we could all benefit from that one. Although I just gave up on it altogether. So I'm just like, you know what? Let's just hack off the few that are still hanging on.
I have found out though, if you, in my opinion, if you're not going to go totally bald, but you have those deep widow's peak things, it is better just to do a mohawk because you know what? Nobody knows you're bald.
You know what? I'm an 80s kid. I call them T-tops.
Okay, is that what we call them? T-tops? Okay, so if you have T-tops in your life, you don't have to shave it all off. Just do a mohawk. It's okay.
Yeah.
Unless you're working in the corporate world, then mohawks really don't go too well. You might as well just shave it off. But.
Yeah, I go to too many business functions for the mohawk to really work. I rocked a mohawk when I was a kid, but early 20s. But after that, it's like, yeah, okay, I gotta be in rooms that it doesn't quite work the same.
But yeah, that was a hell of a game last night. Honestly, I mean, I really thought the Knicks had that one in the bag when I think it was like a minute left, and now at that point we're down to just fouling, just kind of stay in the game. And I don't know where Nesmith came from, but all of a sudden this dude decides he wants to start hitting threes like he's Steph Curry, and this dude knocked down what was that stat guy 5 threes in a row, something like that. Some of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, where did Nesmith? Where was this at the beginning of the game? Why is it the teams waiting for the last 3 minutes to start pulling out the heroics?
You know what? That's when they're impressive. If it's early in the game, you're like, peak too early. Yeah. But if it's the end of the game, you're like, oh, da-da-da.
Well, I mean, you look at the beginning.
Right? Come on.
You look at the beginning of the game, though. The Pacers started the game 8 for 8. Like, they couldn't miss in that first quarter. Like, every shot they were putting up in the first quarter was going in.
Yeah.
Well,
and I missed the first quarter because I was watching the Dallas Stars up until the point where my wife says, you got Yahoo TV. You can split screen and watch both games. And then my whole life changed. But yeah.
I mean, you got to be like, you're hitting shots when you are wrapping up a game, at almost $140.
Yeah.
Like, the shots are going in.
Right.
The defense, but the shots are going in.
Yeah. I thought Carl Anthony Towns did a really good
Thursday,
job
ain't
in that game. Happy Wednesday.
Did I miss a week or something?
I say, Miss Freebird, you might want to put down the 1960s weed. It's Thursday.
I disagree.
I'm sorry. Her name is Freebird. Anybody says Feather Freebird?
I think at that point you pick it back up. Because you just fast forward a whole week, like I'm in. There it is.
Shut up, you. I'm sorry, but Miss Feather Freebird, the fact that your name is Feather Freebird, we know 3 things. 1, you were probably at Woodstock. 2, you're probably having consensuals at Woodstock. And 3, I firmly believe that both could have been born at Woodstock.
Nah, that isn't an artwork handle, actually, is what that is.
Well, I was close. Okay, well, it was still in the art realm, so I wasn't too far off.
Good stuff. And yeah, we haven't talked about Irsay quite yet, but yeah, I mean, we will bring him up. I mean, he was only 65, which is actually a little bit crazy. I thought for sure one of the first owners to pass away would have been either Kraft or Jerry. Obviously Jay was rooting for the second, but
sure was. Well, I tell you what, man.
No, like crazy. Because again, only 65, so that is a little bit surprising, except for the fact that he has looked 65 for 40 years, and so obviously he has to be doing a lot of drinking, smoking, something. Because I mean, he looked old when they drafted Peyton. Yeah. And here we are quite a few years later, but he hasn't seemed to age more. Like he's looked the same age forever.
Right. And, and that's the thing, though. I mean, I don't want to get too far off the basketball games. I did have a couple of things I want to say about the basketball game, but since we're talking about Irsay real fast, so when the press release came out, it said he passed away in his sleep. You're not pass away in your sleep at 65, because I know this man has the best medical care known to man. All right, he's a billionaire. You can't tell me his medical care isn't top notch. But when I see him
while you're sleeping, man, like I know people that are 25 years younger than him that did that fell asleep.
I understand, and I'm not saying it can't happen. I'm not trying to say it can't happen. I'm just saying I'm looking at the laws of possibilities, and you can't look. What do you know about Jim Irsay's past, right? Cowboys never get it. We don't, Joe. We really don't, man. But
Jerry Jones is going to live to be 100.
Shut your pie hole.
Hope so.
Don't put that on me. Don't put that on me. I would never do that.
And then when
like
he passes
$130. $130
is
going to be.
Why are you killing me today, Stack?
At 100 years old,
your Cheerios, damn it. Give me a second, please. Look, we know that Jim Irsay was a drinker. We know that Jim Irsay was a heavy pill popper, and he abused pills like a champ.
I don't know that we know that.
Oh no, it's been documented. It's been documented. Okay. It's come out. It's documented. I mean, it's all over the internet. I mean, everybody knows that he's a pill popper. It's not like he's hiding. It's like that people don't know this. It's not like we didn't know Elvis Presley wasn't a pill popper. Everybody knew Elvis Presley was a pill popper. I just got to believe, and I would not be surprised if the autopsy comes back that if he had something in his system. I'm not saying he did. I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me that if he passed away in his sleep, it was maybe of an overdose or something, doing a pill or a drink. I'm just law of averages. I'm just throwing some law of averages out there.
We do not agree with Jay on this show. Do not sue the platform.
Yes, these are strictly stat guys' comments. I'm just relaying them off the script that I was given. Don't blame Jay McLovin. This is great stat.
The thing with Jerry Jones, though, is even when he passes away at like 100 years old, he's going to have like a 50-page binder that he's going to give to Roger Goodell and be like, here's the next 50 years of moves that I was going to make. Please have our team carry this out just so Jay can just continue to hate me.
Right. It's I'm curious what his actual line of succession is, because for Irsay, it's his 3 daughters.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they are already heavily involved. They've already been, VP, stuff like that. So, I mean, that transition is going to be relatively seamless. It sounds like the the main power will kind of move between the three of them.
Sure.
So that sounds like a weird dynamic, but at least they already have that succession plan in place. Jerry, to me, almost seems like he's like, I'm going to live forever, and when I die, this is going to be chaos. And, I'm here for it.
Look. It's going to be the same as Irsay, guys. Look, it's going to pass right on down to Steven. I guarantee you, I promise you, it's going to pass it. It's going to be a sim. Now, Jerry may live to be 100. He may get cryogenically frozen like Ted Williams and realize it was just a bad thing to do. But it's going to happen that he will become, Stephen Jones will be the next owner of the Cowboys. Do I want that? Hell no. But that's what's going to happen.
Kidding? 100 is too young. He eats stem cells in his Cheerios. Like, he is absolutely going to be like $130 just to bury this franchise.
Hey, listen, when you got $1 billion or worth over $1 billion, you could probably get anything in your cereal to keep you alive. Who knows?
No,
man?
you really can't, though. Yeah.
But you know what? Here's the thing, though. I don't think Jerry Jones has as much power as people say he does. But Jay, don't think the Cowboys will have the Jerry curse? Yeah, man, look, man. I don't want to talk about that. That's just depressiveness. Okay, don't look. You guys got to stop with me and Jerry Jones. I'm already depressed enough. Don't make me more depressed. Okay, give a guy a break. Give that guy some hell, or give Bo over there some hell.
Bring the heat. Bring it.
Give them the heat. Damn it. But no, listen. You can't tell me
that. For the smoke.
But look, guys, you can't tell. Everybody says how much power Jerry Jones has, and I'm not saying the man don't have some power within the NFL. Okay, I'm not saying he doesn't have that, but he doesn't have enough. Because if that man had enough, he voted against the tush push, and that thing got passed anyway. Was it 22? And they needed 24, but they only got 22. Do you think if Jerry really had that kind of power that people think he has, that you don't think he could have swayed those other two people? I mean, I'm just saying.
No, so the thing is there are a few really influential guys in that ownership group. Jerry's one of them.
Yep.
So is Kraft,
mm-hmm.
who didn't vote for it.
And then if you heard Mike Vrabel's comments on why Kraft didn't vote for him, I gained a shit ton of respect for Mike Vrabel.
Hey, you know what? If his curse included a ring, I'm really not that mad at it.
Did you guys see Vrabel's quotes?
No, what did Vrabel say?
He basically said, "Why are we banning the tush push? That would be essential to basically banning Lamar Jackson from running the football because nobody can stop Lamar Jackson when running the football."
And he's not wrong.
He's not. I said I gained a ton of respect for Vrabel for coming out with that quote, basically saying if you want to stop it, figure out a way to stop it. You want to stop Lamar Jackson from running, do something about it.
Well, I mean, the biggest thing is the tush push is only effective if you already didn't play good defense and let them have 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2. If they're 3rd and 5, you know what they're not running? The tush push.
But let me ask you guys this question, okay? Because a lot of people I was very upset when they banned the shift, and I'm just here to Kim's commercial. Hey, give what the hell? But anyway, hey, listen. They didn't ban the tush push. I think that is a little bit of, you can say, change. Look at the shift in baseball. The Astros came up with the shift in baseball. They took the shift away from them, and they had that was a very detrimental thing when you took that away from the Astros because the Astros like to play the strategy game. So I don't know, man. I mean, some things can affect. I'm not saying the tush push is it maybe all that. Maybe you just got to learn how to defend it better, I suppose. But then you can say the same thing about the shift. If you want to beat the shift, just hit the ball where the damn people are, because there's a whole big field over there where nobody's at.
That was always my thought. And this is coming from a fan of a team that had Kyle Seager that couldn't hit anything to the opposite side. Like 0 times in his career could he hit anything to the opposite side. And so the shift against him was ridiculous. Like, it looked like the most Bush League backyard softball game you've ever seen because everybody would just be standing over it. But at the same time, it's exactly that. Learn how to hit the ball the other way. That's it.
I don't understand why we're taking away strategy. Tush push, if that's a strategy that clearly has worked for the Eagles, learn how to defend it. Same thing with the shift. Why are you getting rid of the shift? Learn how to hit the other way. I hate it. if you want to make changes to the game, the pitch clock or where you kick off the ball because you want to get more returns rather than just let it go into the end zone, I'm okay with that. But when you start taking away strategies on offense or defense or and something for baseball and football, I have a problem with that. I hate that. You know, I hate that.
I'm absolutely with you. Like, anytime you're getting rid of strategic plays, I am not a fan. If you're getting rid of something because of injuries, sure, okay. Like, I can get on board with that. If you're getting rid of something or altering something that speeds the game up a little bit because they don't want you checking a base runner at first 5 million times, okay, that's fair. Or you want to see more kick returns. Yeah, I mean, we all kind of do, right? So like, I'm with that. But when you're getting rid of basic strategy plays, like, what are we doing? Like, stop trying to ruin the game.
Because what does that send a message to really the league, right? Whether it be baseball, football, basketball, whatever the case may be. So what you're telling me is if I do something extremely well, you're going to ban it. And so my thing is, even if you ban the tush push, what if they come up with something else that works extremely well and people can't defend it and it gives them championships? Are you going to go ban that too? Because if that's the case, we're going to keep banning things for Kingdom Come. And they know what you're left with? Flag football.
No, they'll ban that because then all of a sudden guys like Tyreek can't. He has to run with ankle hobbles so that he's the same speed as everybody else. Like, it's idiotic. Like, you utilize the things that your team does well. Don't make rules against it. It's dumb. I'm not a fan.
You know what's really funny about that 22-10 vote though the other day?
Yeah, it was the score. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you know how it ended up being 22-10?
Huh.
The Vikings had the last vote to get it to pass. But when they realized that their vote wasn't going to matter because they were going to be short anyways, they just said, "Oh, screw it. We'll stick it to the Packers at 22-10."
Again, I'm a fan. Bring the pettiness. I'm with it.
We love the pettiness, man. Yeah, we love the pettiness. And we love the pettiness. We're trying to be a liar, man. No, but that Knicks Pacers game, that really did take me for a loop. I was fully in. I'm like, yes, Knicks are going to take this out. Gonzo and Tony are still going to be screaming because they get no respect. The Pacers get no respect, and I'm just going to be there relishing in it. And what happens? Neesmith. I swear to you, bro, if Neesmith didn't get hot when he got hot, we're not having this conversation about the Pacers. Let's be honest. The only thing that got the Pacers that win was Neesmith. When he put it on their back that last few minutes of the game, that is what got them that win. And everybody should be saying Neesmith's name and not so much Halliburton because Neesmith is the one that got him that win.
Yeah. No, it's and real quick before we Rob, but if they got rid of it, they would have had to get rid of being able to push your running back that gets stood up further downfield, or anybody that's a sweep that gets stood up on the edge. You can't have your pulling guard or somebody help push them forward. So it was going to get rid of every sort of pushing. So the fact that it got as close as it did was a huge surprise because so many players utilize the push further downfield. I thought that was really some verbiage that was going to keep it from passing anyway. So it was a lot closer than I thought it would be. And calling the choke was hilarious. It's too bad that it wasn't a 3 because that would have been as priceless as it gets. Ends up being a 2. They go to overtime and they trail in overtime. So you thought maybe he was going to get some choking indicators back at him by the end of that game. But
and he looked right at Reggie Miller when he did it too, which made it even better.
Yes.
Oh yeah. Yeah, when you look at the stats of that game, though, I mean, like I said, Neesmith was a huge factor in the Pacers getting that win. Yep. But when you look at the Knicks side of it, I think one of the things that worked against the Knicks was that turnovers, man. They gave it, 27 turnovers to 4. And then they gave it 15 turnovers to 7. I apologize, 15 to 7. And they conceded 27 points off of those turnovers to only 4 conceded points off of the Knicks. So, I mean, that was a huge thing. 27 conceded points off turnovers. I mean, that's your game right there, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, I will give the Knicks this though. At least they didn't fail to make their free throws.
Oh, absolutely.
Right? Because you
Absolutely.
see so many teams lose because they can't hit crucial free throws. They were smashing all their free throws.
Yes.
So, I mean, I give them a lot of credit there because for whatever reason, that seems to be an art that has really started to fade away of hitting clutch free throws.
Yeah.
I mean, it used to always be a thing, right? Like, obviously, unless you were Shaq, like they would deliberately get you because, he couldn't hit one. But every time you saw anybody else going, you're like, oh, okay, I mean, this is 2 points. Like, these guys are going to knock these things down. And when somebody missed one, you're like, oh, wow, they missed. Now, when they hit them both, you're like, oh, wow, they got them.
Right. Oh, no, absolutely. Absolutely. But I think that's if I was Thibodeau, that's gonna be one of the biggest things I'm gonna tell them going into game 2 is, look, guys, we got we got to take better care of the ball because 27 conceded points. I mean, that's a lot. I mean, that is a lot. Makes that guy wear a yellow jersey named Neesmith. Yeah, you might want to guard that guy, especially when you see him hitting 5 damn threes in a row. Put somebody on him.
I do find defense in basketball frustrating.
Oh, yeah.
Because, it used to be, even before the 90s when they would like beat you up, right? Even when you looked at the 80s, 70s, and 80s, they played aggressive defense, right? And then the 90s, like they basically were body slamming you and whatever. Combat basketball. I liked it anyway. You get past that, and all of a sudden defense really started to fade away. You get into the last decade and they don't hardly play defense. And that is just frustrating to watch. I hate seeing games that are 140 points.
Yeah.
I actually want to see stops and blocks. And, I don't want to see you go to the line 45 times. And I don't know.
No, I totally agree with you. I mean,
I guess I'm showing my age here. Like I like balanced sports. Like I don't want to see the NFL just end up only offense. Like I don't like that. Like let's play defense in sports.
Well, it was frustrating, and I can't remember the guy's name that did it, but it was overtime. I think it was like the last minute or something of overtime, maybe less than a minute. They gave up the inbound pass, and they got that easy layup with nobody even guarding anywhere near the vicinity. And I'm like, you're in overtime. You're playing for your playoff lives, and you give up this easy layup with only a few, maybe less than 30 seconds or whatever it was left in the game. I'm like, come on. What are you doing?
Joe, it's going to be the Pacers, man. The Knicks are going to nick it up. It just
not only that, but you just look at what the Pacers have done in the playoffs. So like those 3 wins, trailing by 7 with a minute or less than the game, the shots that Halliburton's hit, the shots that Neesmith has hit. You can tell when it's a team's year, and just based on how the Eastern Conference playoffs have unfolded, it's the Pacers' year to get there. Like everything is falling their way, every break is going their way. Just they really at this point can't do any wrong. Because even when things go bad, they make up for it in the clutch when it matters the most.
Yeah, he was talking about them being tired, but I will say this. Thibodeau actually did go one more extra guy in the bench. Well, no, he didn't really. They have him listed there. So say Wright, but Wright had 0 minutes. I don't know why they put his name there, unless he must have checked in and checked out. But yeah, I mean, when you look at their starting lineup, though, everybody gave you 42 plus minutes. The only 2 that did was Towns and Brunson, and that was 39 and 38 respectively. And then Robinson gave 21, McBride gave 25. But in all honesty, I don't know, were they really tired? Because I mean, the Pacers were in the same category. They had Siakam and Halliburton that gave you 42 and 43 minutes, and everybody else was like in the 30s. So honestly, were they really tired? Or
yeah, they are
because more tired than the Pacers were tired.
No, the Pacers go 11 deep, sometimes 12 deep. The Knicks are going deep.
Well, and yeah, so 1, 2, 3. So they played what? 1, 2, 3, 4. They played 5 guys in their rotation, and then the Knicks played I think it was 4. Or 3 because the other guy didn't have any minutes. So yeah, you're right. I mean, they played 2 or 3 extra guys more than what the Knicks did. So yeah,
it's just the pace that the Pacers play at. The Knicks aren't used to playing at that pace like the Pacers are. So even if the Pacers wanted to trim their rotation by 1 or 2 guys, they're used to playing at this pace. Like, they're used to just running. The Knicks aren't used to that. So unless the Knicks want to go an extra 2 guys deep to kind of give some of these guys a breather, they're in trouble if this is a run and gun series.
No, I agree with that. And I don't know that the Knicks are necessarily tired from beating Boston. Once like they were handling them anyway. Like Boston was fumbling the bag from the jump. I mean, they had multiple games where they're up by 20 and couldn't close them out. Then Tatum gets hurt. Like, I don't know how tired the Knicks really are from playing them. I don't think they get swept either. Like that.
No.
This is probably still a 7-game series. These teams actually match up pretty well against each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it was, I don't know. I still don't think it was so much the Knicks being tired that cost them the game as much as it was just lackadaisical defense. Like I said, you don't let a guy have unabated to the rim with nobody around. I mean, come on. And then, like you said, they put nobody on knees. Even when the guy was hitting the damn ball from way beyond the arc. I mean, he was pretty far in some of those shots on the arc. So I don't want to. I think tired. Saying that the Knicks are tired is why they lost that game. I don't think that's I don't think that's a responsible answer. I think that they just get outplayed that last overtime period defensively. Got outplayed.
So I didn't hear about that. Caitlin Clark about so
Caitlin Clark talking about suspending.
Yeah, so that's interesting. Like, I would need more information. The only thing I can think of is if the WNBA has like a technical foul rule, where if you get enough technical fouls, that maybe you get a suspension. That's all I can think of, because I can't. I mean, if she did something worthy of getting suspended, that would be all over the news channel. Like, every sports channel ever would be blasting that like crazy.
Oh, absolutely would.
So I'm assuming this has to do with maybe technical fouls or something. But yeah, I don't know anything about that one, Scott. So, or Joe, if you could maybe give us a little more info on that, because that I don't know. And no, I don't think it's going to be 5 either. Like, the gentleman's sweep is not really going to be on the table for the Knicks. The Knicks are going to win a couple of these games.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't routinely be down 7+ in the last minute and continue to win. Like, that will catch up with you. So some of these games the Knicks are going to get.
I'll tell you this though. I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think their next game is Friday, if I'm not mistaken. Correct?
Yeah.
Let me look. I don't remember what the schedule is.
It should be Friday. It should be every other day between the West.
Right.
And the West.
So
yeah, that's what I was thinking.
So, I mean, honestly, game 2 is absolutely, in my opinion, it's critical for the Knicks. You cannot go to Indianapolis down 0-2. I don't know that the makeup of that team, or like you said, the condition of that team trying to keep up with the Pacers. You know, if that's the argument, I don't think they can come back from 0-2.
Yeah, I mean,
they'll win the games, but I think it's good. If they go down 2 games, then it could be a gentleman's sweep.
It's possible. It's possible. I'm thinking it's at least a 6 game, and they may go down 2, but then they snag the next one. Like, I think they win at least 2 games.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Get the brooms out.
I mean,
on board this morning.
I think when I saw Stephen A. this morning on TV, he just looked so sad. Like you could tell he was deflated from that game. You know, I think he really wanted to come out and have a boisterous, start to the show if they had won. But no, you could just tell he was disappointed. That wasn't the way he wanted to start that show this morning.
Well, no, he wanted to be able to talk about how good the Knicks are and all of that. And I'm good with it.
Yeah, me too. Look. Do you know how much crap Stephen A. gives the Cowboy fan base? A lot. You know this. Everybody knows Stephen A. gives the Cowboy fan base. So every time I see him quiet and can't be happy, it makes me happy. That's my Super Bowl.
Yeah, no, it's not just you. Stephen A. and Skip. Both those guys are like, I can't watch either one of them. I can't watch either one.
You said, Jay, we beat the Celtics. You're just wrong.
I love it when the chat is just going at each other. It's my favorite thing.
Well, people are failing.
That's blasphemous. I am not. You put it up so fast, I didn't get to read the tail end of that.
We got win in the house.
What people fail to realize when it comes to the Pacers, like, yes, the Pacers have had a very good season, but they have the second best record in the NBA since January. And the only team better than them is the Oklahoma City Thunder. So it's not like this Pacers team is like a pushover number 4 seed. It's one of those number 4 seeds that took a little while to kind of find their rhythm as a team this year. But now that they found their rhythm, they very easily, if they were playing at the level they're playing right now, they very easily could have been the number 1 or 2 seed in the East instead of the number 4 seed.
Sure.
Like, this was probably the most dangerous 4 seed in a long time.
Yeah, I if they're able to make it to the finals, and if OKC can hold off Minnesota and get to the finals, I think that's going to be a very, very crazy series. That would be crazy because, like you said, they both like the up tempo type of game. That could be nuts.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see OKC in this next game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, do they come out and just throttle them again, or like what does that game look like? And of course, we get to find out later today, right? It's I think
it's tonight.
Yeah. So that one will be. Do they just continue to dunk on them, or was that Minnesota just didn't come ready to play?
Yeah. Well, Anthony Edwards, hey, he's the only reason I fight here is Brad. He's like, well, damn it, Joe. We can't have everything now, can we? Yeah, Anthony Edwards said that he was not comfortable in that OKC game. Do you think that he's not comfortable because they weren't just giving him free looks at the basket and they were actually putting maybe a little bit of D on him and keeping him off rhythm? That's why he didn't feel comfortable. Yeah.
They play fast. So
yeah. I wonder how they're going to adjust to that. I wonder what adjustments they're going to make to get comfortable.
Yeah. Well, there is that. Enjoy the rest of your day, Jamie.
I mean, when you look at the Oklahoma City and how they play, there's really no adjustments you can make that are going to make Anthony Edwards comfortable. Because Oklahoma is just so right in your face on every defensive possession, regardless of what offensive adjustments you make, because they have no problem switching. Like, even if Anthony Edwards wants to go to a different end of the floor, the guy that's supposed to guard him is like Javonte Williams. He'll just switch off and Caruso will take him. Or Caruso will switch off and Shea will take him. Like, they don't mind switching their marks and switching their man. That's why anything you throw at Minnesota at this point, it's going to make Anthony Edwards uncomfortable because he's not used to that.
Right. And I think, and you're right. And if he can't figure out, or if they can't figure out the adjustments to make to get him comfortable, or if he himself can't figure out how to operate with a faster defense or a faster pace of team, then that could be the ultimate downfall. Because if your number one star can't get comfortable, sure as hell ain't nobody else going to get comfortable.
I mean, Julius Randle looked comfortable the first half. Second half,
that's
so
what
much.
you want. You want them.
Of course you want. Yeah, of course. Of course.
Last thing you want them to do is come out and start balling out because they're comfortable with. You want to make them off balance the whole time. That's how you win.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Oh man. So you wanted to talk about your Dallas Stars. So
yes, I did.
What do we got?
I gotta tell you, Stat Guy, did you catch that Stars game last night? Did you catch any of it at all last night?
I caught the fight at the end.
Yeah. God, it was so good. I don't normally like to have my emotions toyed with, but in this specific case, it was okay. When the game started, it was 1-1. In the first period, I'm like, okay, we got a tight game, right?
Sure.
Period 2 comes around. They get like 2 quick goals, and Edmonton did, and it's like 3-1. And I'm thinking to myself, damn. Because I know how good Edmonton is defensively. And Stat Guy, we talked about how good, they are defensively and things like that. And I'm thinking, like, with the shots on goals and what we're getting, I said, okay, I'm already at this point in my mind, I'm thinking game 2. I'm already looking, okay, we're going to have to just chalk this one up come game 2. So I went outside to let out a few frustrations in the forest that I can do and get away with. I was so angry about it, man. And my Astros lost. I was even more depressed. So I had to go out there and let off a little steam. And I come back inside the house, and my wife's like, they're up. It's 3-3. And I'm like, what? And then it ultimately ended up.
Wait. I feel like the math isn't mathing there. How can they be up and it's 3-3?
No, I don't mean to say the word up. I'm saying I guess not so much that they're up like winning. I'm sitting there like up from 1 point, like they're up to like 3. Okay. You got to understand how Jason talks. Okay, it's confusing. You got to speak Jay. If you learn how to speak Jay, you're gonna understand. But it was 3-3, and I was so excited. Like, man, I can't believe we're back in this game because I was so locked in my head that this is not gonna happen. And then ultimately, it wound up being, I think it was like 6-3 or something like that. And I was like, wow, I did not see this. And I don't know. It was just, man, I didn't expect that.
That's what I said yesterday. I don't trust Stuart Skinner in the playoffs. I don't.
Yeah.
Like Ottinger, yes, he gave up 3 goals, which is one of the, I think, the second most he's given up in the postseason. But what happened after he went down 3-1? Nothing got by him. I trust Ottinger in the playoffs because he's a proven playoff goalie. Skinner's an average goalie at best during the regular season, who's always been bailed out with Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and that offensive firepower that Edmonton has. A lot of Edmonton's games are 4-3, 5-4 because he doesn't need to be perfect. If you're not perfect in the playoffs, you're screwed.
Yeah, no, I mean, you got to be at your best when postseason comes, and that's true in any sport, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, like most sports, you at least get to have like an off day, and you can survive that.
Right.
Football, you're one and done. So you can never have a bad day.
Yeah. No, absolutely. And I understand, like Kobe's saying, and I think Stat Guy already has pretty much played it out pretty good about Skinner being a kind of a rookie goal or a minor league type of goalie or what have you. So I get it. I get what you're saying. But we have gone up against better goalies too, and we still got the wins there. So I don't want to hear your crap.
No, because of Ottinger. Like Ottinger is goalie 1 or goalie 2 when it comes to playoff goalies. It's either him or Sergei Bobrovsky of Florida. Take your pick. Like those are like the 2 best goalies in the NHL right now when it comes to the postseason.
No, I definitely agree. Seattle sports stuff. Basketball and hockey talk. Nothing Seattle can get in on. Laugh out loud. We said, Robert. Hold that thought, because Robert, I'm going to make you feel really good about yourself here in about 2 seconds. Let me just say one thing to Stat Guy is if we have to play somebody out of that Hurricanes and Panthers series, I pray to God we do get the Hurricanes because I do know how good Bobrovsky is, and I really would not want to go against Bobrovsky. With that having been said, Robert, look, man, because you just asked the question a minute ago, or maybe Scott, somebody asked the question about
it was a little bit up. We just weren't there yet. But yeah, I mean, we are going to talk about baseball.
Might as well just get into it because I want to make Robert feel happy about himself.
There we go.
And I want to make Bo. I want to make Bo feel happy about himself, man. Look, guys, and Robert, if you haven't paid attention to the Astros here lately, man, it is a big series. It is a huge series. Because that actually will determine, I think, who will be in first place when that series is done with.
Well, so you guys are 3.5 games back.
We are.
This is a 4-game series.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you sweep,
we legitimately got to sweep you. If we want to get first place, we legitimately have to sweep you.
Correct.
And here's the problem with that.
You're not going to.
Why I'm predicting. Look, and I'm an Astros fan, but I'm also a very realistic person, and I don't like to get.
When did that happen?
I thought you picked the Cowboys to win the Super Bowl every year.
Can you take him off the screen, please? Just give about 5 seconds. You bring him right back. No, seriously. Look. I'm a Cowboys fan. You guys know I keep it real with my teams. I don't get all up into that. You know that. And here's the thing. This is where I see this happening. Number one, I think when the series is done, the M's will still be in first, and the Astros will still be in second. The reason why I say that is for two reasons. Number one, if you look at the last probably 5-6 years, and it may be a little further back, but I know specifically within the last 6 years, the Astros have played the Mariners. You guys control that series. I don't know if we've ever taken a series from the last 6 years. We might stick one here, one there, but typically the Mariners have had our number for 6 years. We all know that. If you're a Mariners fan or an Astros fan, you know that the Mariners have our number for a number of years now. You just have. That's why I hate playing you guys when it's close to the end of the season, because I know that statistically speaking, I'm on the short end of the stick in that series.
Hey, but you guys got you got it in the playoff when it mattered.
That's true, but I mean, when you look at the overall, right? I mean, statistically speaking, you have our number, and that's it's okay to admit that it's what it is. That's point number one. The second point, actually, I have 3 points. The second point, and I'll make them quick. The second point is when you look at the Astros pitching, like I told you earlier, and I think maybe yesterday's episode before that, we're playing minor league pitchers right now because all of our guys are hurt. Literally, Hunter Brown, Blanco, who basically is having a really bad season right now, and Valdez. Those are the 3 guys that we're rolling with. Everybody else is straight minor leaguers. And you cannot win a series against the M's, which have very good pitching, which is going to come up and hit by second point number 3, which have good pitching. When you got 2 of the 3 are 3 minor league pitchers, it's just not going to happen, guys. The last point I'm going to say is this, and Bo, you know this. You have a great pitching staff right now. That is the biggest strength of the Mariners is your pitching staff. And right now, what is going on with the Astros? Our hitting isn't there. Go look at our batting average. Go look at our guys. Alvarez isn't there. He's on the IR. Everybody else is basically slumming right now. So that's why, and that's why the Astros are like this. All season, we're like this because we don't have good hitting and we don't have good pitching because of injuries on one side. So we're playing into your strengths is what I'm getting at. Our hitting isn't good. You got great pitching. Statistically, you own us right now in this series. It is what it is. I hate to say that, but damn, too bad. Having your number does not translate into play. Look, I can't do everything for you, Robert. I can only do so much.
This is what I was laughing at.
See, Scott, this is why you're an asshole. And I think you know that, Scott. Look, I think I can say that word on SBC. I don't think that word is banned. Because I'm sitting here conceding my points, and I'm not being a delusional fan. So you want to say some shit like that? See, that's why I don't like people like you. But please keep listening
Scott,
to the show.
It's fine. The team bus has a giant waste management sticker on the side. It's cool.
See, you up, Bo? That was you two.
Good stuff.
That's
day in the world of an Astros fan.
That's why they have Rubbermaid trash cans in the dugouts now.
Okay, look, stat guy. See, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. You got Scott, who's kind of a leader. You got Bo, who's a semi-leader in this type of comment. But then there's that guy. You just make yourself look like shit. It's like, you know what? Let me just get some garbage time play on Jay. Let me just get some garbage. Let me get some of Bo's leftovers on Jay.
Hey,
see,
you know what?
Damn.
You know what? When a right fielder comes into pitch, you still put it in the stands because that happens on a stat sheet.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Who is this guy?
Hey.
What's up, guys?
What's happening, man?
Just another day in paradise.
Yeah. I would like to get on a plane and go there.
Yeah. Phillies are on a 6-game winning streak. We are the Union beat Pittsburgh 4-1 last night. It's the tush push is still a thing.
Yep.
So yeah, things are good on my end.
Right.
I will tell you that I will straight out say I am glad that you guys didn't hear the last 45 minutes of my conversation. So
no, that's why as soon as I saw you pacing around, I was like, oh, let me just get you out of the room.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I realized that I wasn't Yeah, I wasn't able to come right on right away. But
Actually, Pax, that's not true. You've been on the whole time. If you will look to Bo's left, if you look at the screen, it'd be to his right. You've been there the whole time. You've been like this the whole time. You've been there the whole time.
yeah, that's fine. I'm glad to be here. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, all you got to do is paint its eyes.
Yeah, right. No, it was so the story behind this thing is we have some friends. They are moving to Wyoming today, and there's some things that wouldn't fit in their moving truck, right? As they haul over a giant U-Haul. And so this was one that was in their office. I'm not going to keep it. I'm actually going to end up giving it away on one of my shows. But yeah, it is absolutely hilarious. It's a chainsaw carving. But yeah, so, some Seahawk fan is going to end up with it. And yeah, but as soon as I saw it, I was like, oh, that's a giveaway item. I think that'll be hilarious.
The Seahawks version of Pags.
That's exactly it. And Rob does have a question for you. Have you seen any of the contract info for Sirianni? Because I haven't yet. I haven't seen anything.
No.
Yeah.
3 years. I probably. I know that. I had heard things about the fact that he is up amongst the top paid coaches in the league.
Yeah, I would imagine.
Yeah. Somebody who came in that first press conference was ridiculous. First ever press conference he ever had. People were unsure if he could even speak the language. And he's had some very unique bites, sound bites.
Sure.
Like, with the flower and, the seed and the flower and the watering of the flower and stuff like that. And things like that. But 2 Super Bowls in 4 years.
Yep.
Does
that gets you paid?
That's good. That should get you paid. I mean, that's what I would think. It's that's the good part about this is that, hey, he deserves the money. Show him the money.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Frankie, I can't put that on the screen, man. Something wrong with you, dude. Yep.
Anyways, so, but either way, like I said, other than that, life is good for me. Like I said, the Phillies are crushing the Rockies, like literally, like just spanking them. Now it's the Philadelphia Union will be going up against somebody else for the. Because now it was the Sweet 16.
So
now I'm sure to get to the 8.
Now we're
and I'm not sure if
in the
it's home or not.
quarterfinals. Yeah, we're the quarterfinals now.
I
think you get us.
Who's us?
Chicago Fire.
Oh.
Because they beat Revolution 3-1 on Tuesday.
Well, you know what? Let me just go ahead and pull it up, and we can find out for certain.
I think you get either us in the quarterfinal, or if we win and you, and then we would get you in the semifinal.
Or we get Charlotte or DC United, actually, which makes more sense. Yeah, Chicago plays Minnesota. Okay. We play the Red Bulls.
Ooh.
Okay.
The New York Red Bulls in Philadelphia.
Oh, nice.
DC United plays Nashville.
Yep.
And San Jose plays Austin.
Yep.
Okay.
So, but the Chicago Fire gets to go to Minnesota.
Sweet.
And they won 3-2 yesterday. The Houston Dynamo lost last night to Austin.
that you looked excited and then like, oh.
He was just excited to hear that Houston had their team yet, since he didn't even know they had a team the last week.
Yeah, there's that, I guess. Yeah.
You know, I mean,
And interestingly
I'll
enough,
tell you what, man.
the New York Red Bulls beat FC Dallas.
Yep.
Okay.
So it's yeah. And that went to penalty kicks. They won 4-3 on penalty kicks.
That was like, what game was that? That was Philadelphia Union in Indy 11 2 weeks ago. That game was 0-0 in overtime, and then that went to PKs. I think it was like 6-5 Philadelphia in PKs.
5-4. Yeah,
5-4.
we had one stop.
That was a good game. Was it even a stop though, or did it hit the post?
No, it was one stop.
Okay.
He did have one stop.
That was a good game to watch.
This is soccer, Joe.
You know, as funny as that sounds, though, the DC United happened to beat Charlotte last night. It went 2-1 on penalty kicks.
Nice.
That goalie those goalies were saving things left and right.
I think it's Charlotte's goalie has the #1 save percentage against PKs. He's always been good at stopping PKs.
Joe, you can always tell when we're talking about soccer because I have nothing to add to this conversation.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it was 4-1, against Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is like a level 2 team.
They are in the US. They're in the USL Champions, which is it's the top tier of the USL division, and if you're comparing that to MLS, USL Champion is like AAA. So it's not MLS level. You have MLS talent, but it's not like the MLS level talent.
Right. Yeah. It's less than that.
That's what the U.S. Open Cup is, a mix of MLS, USL, USL 1, USL 2, and pretty much everything that's U.S. soccer gets put into that.
Who does Pele play for?
He played for Brazil. Now he's dead.
I was gonna say, like, he doesn't play for anybody.
Man, that's what I think a lot of times I heard the word Pele.
Wasn't he born in like the 40s or something? Like,
yeah,
Pele's been around a hot minute.
He died at 3 years ago, I think, at age 86.
Yeah, was it on the Eagles? I remember when he died. That is one thing I do remember. There was a thing on ESPN, and they were, there was a nice little montage or whatever you want to talk to him. So it was pretty cool. Nah, I know. Hey, I didn't get a chance to set it, so I'm still on his thing. So yeah, it is what it is. But yeah.
So I did see this.
Yeah, that guy's in a lot of trouble right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
What?
Yeah.
The game was charged with. Holy! So the guy that fell
was 20.
Was 20.
Oh, he wasn't even of legal age.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. So all of a sudden that story starts taking interesting turns. Dude's really lucky he didn't die.
Yeah, because he would have been
that would have been manslaughter.
Yep.
100%. Yeah, you're going away.
I mean,
what does he get charged with at this point? So at this point, is he only being charged with
attempted manslaughter?
No, they're not going after that. No, but what it is, providing alcohol to a minor. So there's a bunch of charges. Attempted manslaughter is not one of them, though.
Yeah.
I did.
Will he be facing felonies, or is it just misdemeanors?
No, it could fall into felonies just because of what happened.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So no, it is taking an interesting turn. I was thinking it was going to be some of the vendors there might have gotten in trouble, but because this was his friend buying them for him because he was underage, that actually kind of absolves the stadium altogether.
Yep.
And so now this really falls at the feet of his friend, and that's where it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out.
So hold on.
Let me say one thing.
Friend was buying the alcohol.
Yeah.
Correct.
Which this goes back to our conversation we had yesterday, Bo, where we were talking about vendors and alcohol and times you could turn off alcohol and all those kinds of things. And I was telling you, I said, just because you limit things or whatever at the booth doesn't mean that they can't get other drinks and give them to minors. Like, that's still going to be a huge issue. So now I'm wondering how's that going to play out.
That doesn't fall on the vendors though, because they sold it to somebody of legal age. If you happen to give it to somebody else, that's on you. That's not on the vendor.
Right. I guess what I'm saying is by that is I'm saying, like, do you think that they're going to have now new standards? Like, how are they going to remedy giving beer to minors? Because it can happen so easily at baseball games.
So every stadium, at least I know in Citizens Bank Park, along with at the Link and even at the Wells Fargo Center, they have alcohol compliance officers that walk around the stadium all the time. And all they're doing is looking for people that are either over intoxicated or who look underage. And they literally stop people while they're walking, like in the concourses and everything, and say, let me see your ID.
Yeah, we have that in Seattle too. Like, they absolutely do that.
So I have to imagine that's likely what's going to occur. The stadium does not lose all liability, because of that. Like, they're going to still have a certain level of liability. It's going to become a matter of, like, how many, like, did he serve 2 beers and that was it, and he walked away with 2 beers, or did he walk away with 3 beers? Like, what did it look like he was, possibly going to give it to his friend? Was he standing there and he handed it to his friend right then and there? Or did he walk away and do it? Like, there's some rules to this.
It made it sound like his friend was kind of staying in his spot in the stands, is the way that what I read was worded. So it sounded like he was just bringing him beers, and where they were, there's probably not a lot of staff, right?
Right.
So, yeah, I mean,
Well, why don't they just give them wristbands? Like, when you go to a nightclub, they ask if you're going to be drinking, they put a band on you. Why not just have a band? That way, if dude ain't got a band, clearly he ain't old enough. And it'd be easier to spot them, or even for the vendors who are going down the aisles to not serve because you see the band.
You're always going to be able to find ways around that. I mean, all you'd have to do is go buy a Pepsi, dump it out, throw your beer in that cup. Nobody's going to know that.
And you're right. You're right.
So, like, there's always going to be ways around it. So, do I think there might be some policy changes? Of course, right? Do I think that the stadium is going to get sued in that scenario? Probably not. Like, it's going to mostly fall at the feet of his buddy that was.
Oh, for sure.
But we'll see. We'll see how far they want to try and take this thing.
I wonder if they're going to go back through there and maybe raise those railings higher. So if you do get somebody who's drunk, even if you're under or over, what I'm saying, to where you can't just fall over so easily.
Yeah, I mean,
so I wonder if they raise that up.
One beer at a time. Man, I hope they don't do this because those lines are annoying. I like being able to buy a second beer.
Yeah, I mean, you're not lying. You're not lying. Of course, I've never tried
to swan dive onto a field either. So, I mean, I guess there's
Right.
That being said, that gets us to the top of the hour. Thanks for playing along. If you're on YouTube, be sure to like and subscribe. If you're watching on Roku, stay tuned for the next hour. Otherwise, we will see you tomorrow ahead of a 3-day weekend. Take it easy, everybody. Maybe.
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Hey.